We're here at Coosan Point and we're trying to show the public all the different invasive species that have now established in Ireland. So we have lots here to show people what's actually occurring here in Lough Ree, in the Shannon system, and we're at the moment doing some research to try and find out where these species actually occur. In this tank we have Quagga mussel, which is the new invasive species that we've discovered last year in the Shannon River. And in Lough Ree we're getting them at about 4,000 to 20,000 per square metre. It's attached here, you can see they attach just like mussels from in the marine environment. You can see them attached with these visceral threads, and they're attached here to a duck mussel, which is a native species, but unfortunately with the invasion of the zebra mussel that came in, they've been exterminated, so they've disappeared. And now this is providing substrate for these quagga mussels to come and attach. And the most alarming thing is that we've got quagga mussel now out-competing the zebra mussel in Ireland.
So this is the invasive quagga mussel that was discovered in the Shannon system back in July of last year, and already we found that it's spread pretty much all through the system, and to depths of up to like 30 metres in Lough Ree and Lough Derg, and we're finding it in huge amounts, as you can see here, all attached onto each other. This was just taken off a pole at Coosan Point just today, and we're finding it in densities of up to 25,000 per square metre, so that's quite a lot of mussels, as you can see.
So here we have a dissecting microscope that James is looking at the minute, and he's looking at some quagga mussel that have been collected here in Lough Ree. And he's looking, it's quite difficult to identify sometimes the difference between zebra mussel and quagga mussel. So he's looking here and he's noticing certain features that distinguish the different species. So here we have aquatic plants, so macrophytes. These are plants that grow submerged in the water. And here we have actually an invasive species. It's now naturalised in Ireland. It's called Elodea canadensis, or Canadian pondweed. And here you can see all these little leaflets here. They occur in very dense clumps. And so they change the complexity of the habitat for insects to actually live amongst. So they change the amount of algae on the leaves and all the things that feed on that. So here you can see the quagga mussels are attaching to these aquatic plants. And often birds feed on these aquatic plants and they move them from one water body to another, so they're actually a risk of dispersal. So once they attach to that, the bird picks this up, flies to the next site and dumps them into the next water body. So a real risk of spread for invasive species. Okay, so here we're going to just try and test the water, and really it just characterises what kind of water we have here. So here we've got a handheld meter that tells us the pH, the conductivity, and all animals and plants require a certain condition to survive in. So this tells us whether the water is actually suitable for invertebrates or any of these invasive species, and whether they excel in those conditions. The key thing here is you can actually see that one filtering. See the little filter out? And this one here has actually got the foot out. And that one's actually moving. See that with the foot? So here we've got, this species is quite unique because it feeds by filtering, and it also feeds with their foot, so the use of the foot. And they reckon that's why it's so competitive with other native species that only filter feed, or they only feed on detritus. So they can actually feed on both food sources, and so they can outcompete other species, native species.